How we doing, everybody? Happy Monday. Hopefully your weekend went fantastic. As good as the Brewers, as good as the Badgers, I guess you could say, but not as good as the Packers, because the Packers did struggle. We're going to cover all three today on this episode here. We're going to be talking Brewers first. Got the series win over the weekend, covering that series. Also talking a little bit about the Badgers and Packers before we go in depth in the rest of this week here. But right away, we're going to jump into the Brew Crew because they moved a little bit farther ahead in the standings over the weekend and also got closer to clinching the division. The elimination number right now for the Cubs going into today is 7 games right now, 6.5 back of the Brewers. They are sitting at 78 and 72. The Diamondbacks did us a favor there over the weekend. The Brewers did their part. Maybe should have walked out with a series sweep. We're going to be talking about that. But an 84 and 65 record here going into the final home stretch here. One last road trip on the season for this Brewers team before they come back home for 2 series to wrap up this regular season. But with that, we're going to jump right into the Brewers. Brewers over the weekend, Friday night, took the win against the Nationals there. 5-3 was the final score in that one. Pulling up the box score here, Wade Miley got the win for the Brewers. He moves to 8-4 on the year with a 3.38 ERA. Irvin took the loss for the Nationals, 3-6 with a 4.34 ERA, and Devin Williams locked down his 35th save on Friday there. He is sitting at a 1.62 ERA. Looking at the box in that one, a couple of big home runs by Carlos Santana there was the key in this one. Also a home run by William Contreras got the party really going for the Brewers there. Looking at the box for the Brewers, Yelich came back for that Friday night game, an 0-for-3 effort from Yelich. Tyrone Taylor came in for Yelich, got scratched again. That back is still giving him trouble coming back from not even on the injured list, just day-to-day off the bench. Tyrone Taylor came in, did not record anything. William Contreras, 1-for-3 night with that big 3-run jack there, 3 RBIs and 1 walk. Carlos Santana, 2 home runs for him, 2-for-3 night, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Sal Frelick, a 1-for-4 effort there. Adames 0-for-3. Cano went 1-for-4. And then Tellez, 1-for-3 effort. And Terang, 1-for-3 in this one. Wade Miley, 5 2/3. 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 1 home run given up. McGill then came out of the bullpen. An inning and a third, pitched, 1 hit and 1 strikeout. Uribe for an inning then, and then Devin Williams shut it down there. 3 strikeouts in that 9th inning there to lock it down for Devin Williams. For the Nationals in that one, Irvin took the loss. He gave up 4 earned runs in this one, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, 4 2/3 innings. Garcia then came in and pitched that last third of an inning there, nothing across the board. Machado came in for an inning then, 1 hit and 2 strikeouts. The bullpen for the Nationals fared well in this one. Harvey came in and gave up that 1 home run to Santana there. 1 inning pitch for him, 3 hits and 2 strikeouts, but that 1 earned run there. So a good game from the Brewers there, held down this Nationals offense there. 6 hits for the Nationals in this one, 7 hits for the Brewers. A big 4-run 5th inning back-to-back jacks from Contreras and Santana set them up pretty. And then Santana's home run there in the 8th was the real put-away punch for the Brewers in this one. They were controlling the Nationals right away. Nationals jumped out to that 3-0 lead, and it was like, ooh, oh boy, here we go. But the Brewers stuck with it, held it together, and then in that 5th inning, they exploded for 4 runs there, thanks to that William Contreras 3-run shot. Looking into Saturday, this game got dicey for the Brewers. 9-5 finish for the Brew Crew. This one, Brewers started out a reverse roll of that first game. 3-run first for the Brewers. Set them up good in that one. Then in the 3rd inning, the Nationals came back with a run for themselves. And then the 4th and the 5th, the Brewers tacked on, made it 5-1. And then the Nationals went for 3 in the 6th and tied it in the 8th before Mark Canha hit a grand slam in that bottom of the 8th inning. That was a memorable moment. It was one of the top moments of this season, really defined the Brewers and their defiance that they don't just shut down. And well, it's like flipping a dice there. I mean, flipping a coin there. I mean, there's times where you look at this Brewers offense, they completely shut down. This one showed it. They have a little bit of fight left. Mark Canha, again, proves that he deserves to be in this lineup for the Brewers and delivered there in that bottom of the eighth inning with that grand slam, the go-ahead grand slam there to really put away this one for the Brewers. In that ball game for the Brewers, Corbin Burns, 5 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 9 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 home run given up. Paguero then came in for an inning and a third, 1 hit and 2 strikeouts. Pappas for an inning, 3 hits, 1 earned run, and 1 strikeout. And Milner then came in the ninth, 1 inning pitched, and zeros across the board for him. I thought it was impressive in that one. I didn't see it watching it live. You're watching Mark Canha. But then later I saw a video, and it was everybody wanted to know what was Craig Counsell's reaction. Craig Counsell, right when that ball was hit off of Mark Canha's bat, Craig Counsell ran down into the dugout, pushed Pat Murphy out of the way, got to the bullpen phone, and sat down Trevor McGill right then and there and said, "Get Milner up now." And I thought that was that was impressive to see that in that big of a moment, Craig Counsell thought to himself that quickly, okay, I got to run down, I got to get this changed, and I get my pitchers straight for this ninth inning. It's not a save situation anymore. It's not a let's protect the lead. I'm going to run down there, get my one of my better relievers down. I mean, Milner's still a solid reliever, but put down one of my top, one of my high leverage guys and put Milner back into this ball game there. So I thought that was pretty impressive out of Craig Counsell there. But in this one for the Brewers, Sal Frelick, 3-for-5 effort from Frelick there, 2 runs. William Contreras, 2-for-4 effort. Santana 0-for-3 on the night, but did have 2 walks and 2 runs scored. Mark Canha, 3-for-5 effort, 5 RBIs on the night. Adames went 1-for-4 for this Brewers team with an RBI. Tellez, 2-for-2 at the plate there with an RBI and a walk in that DH role. Donaldson, 1-for-3. Terang, 0-for-3. And Tyrone Taylor went 2-for-4 for this Brewers team. For the Nationals, Abrams 0-for-4 effort. Thomas went 0-for-4. Controlling Abrams and Thomas is the key to shutting down the Nationals. Meneses went 3-for-4 for the Nationals. And looking down the box here, Garcia, 2-for-3 effort for him, 2 RBIs. He had a couple big home runs in this series for the Nationals. Pitching-wise, Williams went in for the Nationals, 2 innings, 3 earned runs, 5 hits, 1 strikeout. He was relieved by William Ham, who went 1 inning and 1 earned run. Machado came in for 2 innings, gave up an earned run. Weems came in for an inning, 1 strikeout, nothing across the board for him. Fair, then 1 strikeout in an inning and a third innings pitched. And Finnegan came in for 2/3 of an inning. He was actually the guy who gave up the grand slam to Mark Canha there. So that was impressive showing out of the Brewers there. The fight of the Brewers, 9-5 finish, 14 hits for the Brewers, 9 for the Nationals in that one. And that led us into Sunday. You are going for the series sweep, another way to push yourself ahead of the Cubs in this division race even further. 2-1 finish, final in 11 in this one. It was a tight ball game. Nationals put up that run first. Brewers came back with one in the 6th, and then all the way until the 11th, Nationals scored one in the top half. And then, I don't really know what to say about the 11th inning for the Brewers. In that situation, Rowdy Tellez hit he had a hard hit ball down the first base line. Chavis made a great play on it, got it to the bag, got it to the plate. Contreras was caught in no man's land. That's a toughie. That is a tough pill to swallow. Do you send Contreras in that situation? Off the bat, that ball was peppered towards first base. That ball gets by Chavis. Chavis shuffles it a little bit. Chavis makes a bad throw at the plate. Run scores. So in that situation, risking it, in this game, this moment, I don't have too big of a problem risking it. I know Lane's had some struggle there at third base. And I think he's a terrible third base coach. I really do. I wish that Eddie Cedar was still down there at third. But I just don't think in that situation, Rowdy Tellez, that ball sneaks by. William Contreras could be taken off cracking the bat. He saw it to the right side and he took off. And maybe a late jump in that situation. I'm not sure. But I don't hold it against William Contreras in that situation. Ball was a hard hit. Rowdy put a good charge into it. Drove it down that first base line. Chavis made a good play and got both the runner out at first and Contreras at the plate. Contreras might have got a bad jump. If he got a bad jump, then yes, he's got to turn around, go back to third, let that inning survive one more. But if he got a good jump, Chavis made a great play. Chavis made the play at the plate. Throw was pretty good. I mean, that's nothing you can do about that. Brewers got the series win. That's bottom line. They still have that division lead right now by 6. What did I say? It was 6.5 game lead in the division right now. Yep, 6.5. Elimination numbers at 7. Brewers should have the division wrapped up here pretty soon. You're going to face the Cubs to end the year here, but Brewers, I took nothing out of that game. Brewers should have swept this series. It sucks that they did not sweep the series, but solid effort out of the Brewers there, game 1 and 2. Game 3, like we've seen with the Brewers offense, they went cold. They went cold in this one, and that's plain and simple. That's about it. I mean, you're going to play games like this, and they played a game like that. Sadly, weren't able to back up the Brandon Woodruff solid outing in this one. We'll run through the box real quick here. Woodruff, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 3 hits, and 6 strikeouts in this one. Milner for an inning, and then Bryce Wilson for a third of an inning, 1 hit and 1 walk. Chafin came in for 2/3 of an inning, got nothing across the board, a big double play ball he drew up. Devin Williams, an inning pitched, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and Vieira came in for 2 innings, 1 run, 0 earned, 1 walk, and 1 K. And, everybody was saying, well, why did we put Vieira in? Why didn't we let Devin Williams go that extra inning? Well, we've known this with Devin Williams. He doesn't go many innings. Devin Williams is one inning wonder. You get him into 2, he struggles. He has some struggle. Devin Williams has location trouble. Getting him to go through an inning clean, a clean 1 inning for Devin Williams is very hard to come by. He likes to throw a lot of walks. He likes to make it dicey. He likes to give people gray hairs and pull their hair out. I mean, that's Devin Williams. That's how he pitches. So do you really want to risk him going? I didn't have a problem with Vieira going in there. Vieira pitched a pretty good 10th inning for the Brewers team. He got him out of there. Vieira pitched well for the Brewers, and putting him out there for that 2nd inning, sac fly brought in the run. That's the way you produce runs. I understand that, but Vieira did not pitch a bad outing. No hits given up by Vieira in his innings of work there. There's a lot of people who were complaining, why was Vieira in there? Why are we going with Vieira in that situation? He didn't pitch bad. I thought Vieira pitched very well for the Brewers team. I honestly, after watching Vieira in this one, thought maybe Vieira could be an option for this Brewers team moving forward to put into some of these games, because we don't see much of him. I mean, this was the first time he's pitched in the longest time. And to get him into this one in a pressure situation, he pitched just A-okay for this Brewers team. And I love to see how much fire he has when he gets out of an inning or when he gets that strikeout to end an inning. Holy crap, does he get fired up. I think it's just fun. It's hilarious to watch. But I had no problem with Vieira in this one. Looking at the box for the Brewers hitting, Mark Canha. I saw somebody commented, and they said, why was Mark Canha, why were you riding with him there in, he came up in another big spot there for the Brewers, grounded into a double play. Why did you ride with Mark Canha? He's hitting 270 right now. He's brought that batting average up 20 points now since coming to the Brewers. He's on a hot streak, and he's been hitting the ball. Why is Mark Canha in there? Think about that one for a second before you throw comments out there. That's just what I want to know. What makes you? Who are you going to go to off the bench for the Brewers? Who do you want to bring into this ball game? Brian Anderson. We don't see him anyways. Why would you pinch hit Brian Anderson in that situation? Why that comment made no sense to me. I saw it on one of the posts. I was like, what? Be real here. Mark Canha is one of our most consistent hitters. Mark Canha is going to be in. That's just plain and simple. The only way we've pulled Mark Canha out of games was for Joey Wiemer to come in on defense for the 9th. That's it. That's plain and simple. That's all that it is. So Mark Canha was going to stay in this ball game. 2 for 4 effort from Mark Canha there at the top. 1 walk, 1 run, and 1 strikeout. Contreras, 1 for 4 effort for him. Santana, 1 for 3 effort. Adames, 0 for 2. Donaldson, 0 for 4. You want to pinch hit for anybody? Donaldson was the guy. Tellez did pinch hit for Donaldson. 0 for 1 effort from Tellez. Monasterio, 0 for 4. Tyrone Taylor, 0 for 4. Caratini went 2 for 4 in this one. Blake Perkins, 0 for 2 effort in his return for the Brewers. And Sal Frelick went 0 for 1 for the Brewers in this one. Nationals. Looking at the Nationals here, Corbin started it for him, 1 earned run in 6 innings, 4 hits, and 2 strikeouts. Harvey for 2 innings, he had 2 strikeouts. Finnegan then came in for an inning, 1 hit, and 1 strikeout. And then Garcia finished it out. 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 walks, and a strikeout. So for the Brewers in this one, just a struggle with the bats like we've seen from this Brewers team all season long. We aren't going to be able to change it. Pitching looked good for the Brewers. 4 hits given up in total. Brewers had 6. Solid pitching output. Offense, as we know it, goes cold in games. This was one of those games. This was going to be, if we were going to win it, it was going to be off a sac fly, or the Nationals were going to make a mistake. And the Nationals played some pretty good defense against this Brewers team. So hats off to the Nationals. They're taking that final game of the series. But a big Brewers move. And I've been calling for it for months. I've been calling for it since, oh goodness. I mean, it's been August, July. Joey Wiemer, finally. Joey Wiemer has struggled for the Brewers, and finally the Brewers said enough's enough. Blake Perkins is coming back, and they sent Joey Wiemer down to AAA. And that's what needed to happen. I like Joey Wiemer. I think he could be a very valuable part to this Brewers organization and team going forward into the future. But right now, that bat needs a lot of fixing, and he was not helping the team where he was at. So good to see the Brewers finally make a move on that aspect and bring somebody back. I was, fingers crossed. I was really hoping for a guy we're going to talk about next was going to be coming back up. But I understand he needs a little bit more work down there at AAA. Hopefully he gets right, and we do see him before the end of the year. We're going to talk about him in a second here. Everybody, if you follow the Brewers, you know who I'm talking about right now. But Brewers made the move. Joey Wiemer went down to AAA, brought in Blake Perkins, who started today for this Brewers team, coming off the injured list. But with that, the guy, everybody knows who I'm talking about. Great to see him back playing baseball. Garrett Mitchell has returned. He's at AAA Nashville right now for this Brewers team. 2 for 11. He's sitting in AAA right now. 182 average, 4 strikeouts, 2 stolen bases already, and a walk in 3 games played. Good to see Garrett Mitchell getting some at-bats in AAA right now. Hopefully see him back in the Major League roster here to end the season. I tell you what, Sal Frelick is a game changer for the Brewers. Garrett Mitchell is a game changer for the Brewers. Garrett Mitchell is a guy who can get on base for you. He's got a little thump in that bat, but he can get on base for you, and he can put pressure. He's smart. He's very smart. Sal Frelick is a very smart baseball player. He knows where he has to put the ball. He's not going to constantly... I've seen Sal Frelick go for the downs. He tries to put her straight up into that Nissan deck at times throughout the game. But there are moments where Sal Frelick knows this is what I need to do, and he just delivers. He hits that ball, a high outside fastball, he'll drive it into left. That's what Garrett Mitchell does for this Brewers team. He adds another contact, speed threat to this Brewers team, and that's what we've been missing. Getting Garrett Mitchell back would be awesome for this Brewers team. You put him center field, right field, Sal Frelick plays the opposite between right and center, and then you put Mark Cannon to left. Yelich does not have to play the field. Yelich, he's a liability on defense. His glove is great, but his arm is terrible. Mark Cannon can play left field for you. That puts Frelick or Mitchell in center. The opposite goes into right. Your outfield is set, ready to rock for the playoffs there, and your defense is pretty darn good out there. Mark Cannon, he can be shaky, but you want to keep that bat in the lineup. Left field's okay. He can make the plays that he's got to make out in left. Mitchell and Frelick, I don't know if a ball is going to get down in right center field, anywhere in that gap there, because those two, the way that they can fly, they're going to haul it in. And then you add Mitchell back into that lineup, potentially at the top, potentially in the middle of that bottom, somebody to get on base, put pressure on, and get on for the big sluggers, or the, in quotation, big sluggers, the RBI guys in this lineup for the Brewers. Garrett Mitchell, the hope is that he can get ready to go here for the final stretch for this Brewers team. Great to see, though, that he is back in AAA right now for this Brewers team. But with that, I just wanted to jump into and just check out. I saw a post. I'm not gonna find it here, but the Cubs, like I was saying earlier, the Cubs did lose another ball game today. We're gonna run through we're gonna fly around the league real quick. Actually, that's what we'll do real quick. For yesterday's schedule. Yesterday, the Rays and Orioles. Orioles won it 5-4 in 11 innings. Yankees and Pirates. Pirates took that one 3-2. Blue Jays and Red Sox. Blue Jays won it 3-2. The Reds and the Mets. The Mets took that one 8-4. Guardians and Rangers 9-2 finish. Braves lost to the Marlins 16-2. The Marlins putting some pressure on. They want to make that wild card. Astros beat the Royals 7-1. The Twins took care of the White Sox 4-0. As we said, the Brewers lost 2-1 to the Nationals. Phillies and Cardinals. Cardinals took that one 6-5. Giants and Rockies went a high-scoring game there. Giants 11, Rockies 10, 29 hits in that one. An impressive outburst of runs there both ways. Tigers, Angels 5-3 finish. There is some interesting news from the Angels. Shohei Ohtani will not play again this year. When they showed up to the locker room as of a couple days ago, I saw he had cleaned out his locker. So last we see of Shohei in Anaheim. Padres Athletics. Padres took that one 10-1. Dodgers beat the Mariners 6-1, and the Cubs lost to the D-backs there 6-2. Way to go, Diamondbacks. Not many times I cheer for the Diamondbacks, but in this situation, we can give them a good woohoo. But looking at that, we're going to jump over into some news out of the Badgers, and that was the Badgers took a 35-14 win over the Georgia Southern Eagles. I gotta say, I was there, sitting midfield, watching this Badgers team. I almost left at halftime. If I had the option, I was leaving at halftime. Why? This game was ugly. In the first quarter, nothing was happening. Defense was the secondary looked shaky. Couple of bad throws. You look in this one. If Bryn from Georgia Southern doesn't throw 5 interceptions, and a couple of them Wisconsin's defense did provoke. But for the most part, the Badgers were lucky that he was rushed and he threw it into spots. He rushed himself and he threw it into pressure and made the interception happen. Bryn had a couple mistake throws that he shouldn't have made. He probably wishes he had back, and that helped the Badgers in this one because the pass game for Georgia Southern was impressive, but the secondary for Wisconsin struggled. A lot of misdirection from Georgia Southern that the Badgers defense didn't pick up on, and Tressel did not prepare the Badgers for in this one. Looking at the box in this one for both ways, I just wanted to see. Oh, let's see if we can't find. Oh, right here. Team stats for this one, because I was looking up at the team stats on the board all game long, and you look at this for Georgia Southern, 23 first downs to Wisconsin's 22. Third down efficiency, 9 for 17 from Georgia Southern, 3 for 11 from the Badgers. Passing for Georgia Southern, 383 yards to Wisconsin's 244. Total yards, 455 for Georgia Southern, 451 for Wisconsin. Passing completed versus attempts, 33 for 52 for Georgia Southern, 20 for 31 from the Badgers. The run game did it for the Badgers, and I was thinking about it and trying to process what was going on, what's going on with Wisconsin right now, and I finally got it. Luke Fickell doesn't have his air raid offense that he's looking for. He doesn't have his dogs that he wants right now. Wisconsin is stuck in the old way right now. Without Braylon Allen coming out in the second half and saying, okay, give me the ball, I'm going to make this happen. Last week, he went in and he talked to Luke Fickell and he said, give me the ball. Basically said, give me the ball. What's my job on this team? And if I'm going to be a part of it going forward. And Braylon Allen proved in this one. But what I don't understand with Braylon Allen in this Wisconsin offense, if you're going to have a 250-pound running back, why do we set up in shotgun so often with Braylon Allen? Why are you making Braylon Allen run side to side? Let Braylon Allen run right up the middle. You look at that fourth down the Badgers had, 4th and 1, 4th and 2. You got stuffed. Why are you not giving, or no, and there was another one that was called penalty, but why are you not giving the ball to Braylon Allen, just letting him run straight ahead against this Georgia Southern defense? not many guys are going to hit him running straight ahead. But you got to let him get his full head of steam. Pistol, under the center, somewhere in that range to allow Braylon Allen to come out of the backfield and take it. I was sitting there talking to a bunch of different people that were there, just trying to see what they thought. Same thought process in the whole situation. What are we doing as an offense right now? And why are we sticking Tanner Mordecai right now? A lot of people are saying, oh, he's playing fine. He's playing fine. You look at a couple of the throws he had. I remember one, it was in the first half, and he threw a ball and landed 10 feet short of his receiver, right over the middle, probably 15 yards out. And one of the guys I was sitting next to, I'm not even sure who he was. I was sitting next to him, and he looked at me, and he goes, man, I really hope that thing was tipped. And you looked up at the TV screen there. It wasn't tipped. That's where he threw it. But the receiver was wide open. Why did you throw it in the ground? Why were you trying to get rid of it and throw it in the ground? I don't understand with Tanner Mordecai where he's at mentally right now, where the state of this Badger team is mentally. But something wasn't right. And this Georgia Southern team took the Badgers on the ropes in this one. And I was really, for a long time there, before that third quarter and the late in the third quarter, I was really worried that this Badger team was going to lose this one. Looking at it right away, second quarter, 7-7 going into half. Georgia Southern took the lead in the third quarter there with 12:33 to go. Braylon Allen, 4-yard touchdown, made it 14-14. A couple of interceptions by Bryn there in that third quarter really solidified the where this game was going to go, because Wisconsin took advantage, but it was with the run game. Tanner Mordecai, 18-yard run for a touchdown. Braylon Allen, Chez Malusi. The Badgers' offense is off of the run right now. It hasn't changed. Phil Longo needs to put the playbook back to what it was, and that is a run-first offense. This team is a run-first team. We need to stop trying to throw the ball around like we're a passing team. Tanner Mordecai is not the solution at quarterback. I don't know if we have a backup guy who can play. Any one of these guys can get in there and play for this Badgers team, but it wouldn't hurt to try. The defense needs a lot of work. The secondary needs a lot of work. The front seven for Wisconsin kept them in it. The pressure that they put on Bryn was the reason why the Badgers won this game, because the secondary had a lot of gifts that were thrown out there. The offensive line for Wisconsin struggles. There is no push. There is no big holes. They struggle against the Georgia Southern team. Just wait until Big Ten play starts and you face the big dogs in the Big Ten, because that Ohio State game is glaring right now. It is looking like it's going to be another Wisconsin not so good of a matchup. Let's go with that. Let's just stick with that. But that is about all we're going to cover with the Badgers right now. We're going to jump into more of the Badgers in this week here and get more in depth of what happened to this one, and then also look forward to their next game. But we're going to jump real quick over into the Packers. Packers lost to the Atlanta Falcons there, 25-24 yesterday. Packers win into that fourth quarter, 12-point lead, 24-12. Packers were looking good. Actually, they led it 24-12 all the way till the 11:48 mark, and then Koo hit 2 field goals for this Falcons team, and then you put it on the back of Jordan Love to try and win it for you. And play calling wasn't the greatest in this one. I thought there was a lot of different moments where the Packers could have gone different ways with what they did. And also the lack of, I think they need to use the tight ends more. I thought Luke Musgrave had a great game for the Packers here, and I think he needs to be more in-depth into this game. Also, a couple missed throws by Jordan Love. One of them should have been intercepted. Just a couple of mistakes that you wouldn't have expected out of Jordan Love in this offense in the second game. You would have seen it more in the first game. And in the second one, it was hard to stop B.J. Robinson. He played a dominant game for him. 19 carries, 124 yards. He is a beast to bring down. Bijan Robinson played great. A.J. Dillon struggled again out of the backfield. He's a bruiser, and they're trying to have him play in different styles. That's not how he is. He's a bruiser, and that's how he needs to be used. For the Packers, though, Wicks, 2 receptions for 40 yards and a touchdown, and Reed had a touchdown for this Packers team. Reed looked good for this Packers team. Love didn't look bad in this one. 14 for 25, 151 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Solid game out of him. The Packers just struggled in certain spots. It wasn't like it was all game they didn't control Desmond Ridder. It wasn't like they didn't control Bijan Robinson all game. Certain spots, when the Packers needed a stop, they couldn't get that stop, especially on that last drive. A couple of situations where they needed a big-time stop, and they couldn't get it. They couldn't bring down Robinson. They couldn't keep Ridder from scrambling for that first down, and that's where the Packers ran into trouble in this ball game. But we're going to jump into a lot more Packers over this next week here. But we're going to look just real quick and see what it looked like around the league here today. Dolphins took care of the Patriots on Sunday night, 24-17. Like we said, Packers lost to the Falcons 25-24. Bills took care of the Raiders 38-10. Ravens beat the Bengals 27-24. Seahawks 37-31 winners over the Lions in overtime. In overtime, also, the Titans took care of the Chargers. Bears lost to the Buccaneers 27-17. Chiefs got their first win of the year here. About time the Chiefs finally learned how to win. 17-9, they beat the Jaguars. My dear Texans lost to the Colts 31-20. 49ers beat the Rams 30-23. Giants, comeback fashion, took care of the Cardinals. Struggled right off the bat, but third and fourth quarters looked good for the Giants, and they took this one 31-28. Cowboys, I tell you what, they're the team to beat right now in the NFC. 30-10, they took care of the Jets. They just dismantled that Jets defense. Commanders beat the Broncos. The Sean Payton era isn't looking good to start. Russell Wilson did not play a bad game, though. 308 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Talking about last Thursday night for the Vikings. Vikings lost 34-28 in that one. Kirk Cousins, solid game. 364 yards, 4 touchdowns. Jefferson, 11 receptions for 159 yards, but not enough as the Eagles prevailed in that one versus the Vikings. Some Monday night games, a double header in Monday night games this week. The Panthers and the Saints will start at 6:15 on ESPN, and then the Browns and Steelers for a 7:15 kickoff on ABC. But with that, that is about all I have today for Wisconsin sports. Just wanted to cover the weekend and what we saw, but we're going to get more in depth on the Packers and Badgers throughout the week here. And then also, we're going to be talking Brewers, because the Brewers in a pennant chase right now, hoping to clinch it up here, coming up against the Cardinals here this week. Coming up tonight, we didn't even preview the Brewers' next game against the Cardinals. Coming up tonight, 6:45, we have Peralta on the mound versus Wainwright. Freddie coming into this one 12-8 with a 3.79 ERA, and Wainwright 4-11 with a 7.95 ERA. It's always scary playing the Redbirds, because it doesn't matter if the Cardinals suck. The Cardinals love to beat up on those Brewers, so we're going to pay them a visit there to Busch Stadium for this one. 6:45 start tonight. If you're in St. Louis, you're a Brewer fan. If you're anywhere close, get down there and watch the Brewers. But if you're not, sit at home, sit on the couch, crack open a cold one, and watch the Brewers take care of the Cardinals. But with that, that is about all I have for Wisconsin sports for the day. This has been Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. Thank you guys for listening. Deuces, Brew Crew.